My boss handed me a suit bag at 6 p.m. on a Friday and said, "Put this on. Tonight, you're my boyfriend or I lose $10 million. I laughed. She didn't. I'm Wes. I'm 26, and up until that moment, my entire job description was scheduling her meetings and picking up her dry cleaning, not pretending to be in love with her in front of 40 strangers who all wear watches worth more than my apartment. Her name is Vivian. She runs the marketing division of her own family's holding company, and I've worked for her for 2 years without once seeing her nervous. That Friday, she was nervous. My grandfather put a clause in the family trust before he died, she said, pacing her office. Grandma Eleanor controls the shares until I'm settled. Every year at the family gala, she reviews it. If I show up alone again, she hands controlling interest to my cousin's mother instead of me. I asked why she didn't just get a real boyfriend. She looked at me like I'd asked why she didn't just grow wings. Because everyone who's ever wanted to date me wanted the company more than me. You don't. You want a raise. She wasn't wrong. I said yes for the raise. I told myself that was the only reason. The estate looked like something out of a period drama. Vivian's mother, Renata, greeted us with a smile that never touched her eyes. "So this is the one," she said, looking me over like livestock. Vivian's sister, Delphine, laughed into her champagne. But it was Vivian's cousin, Milo, who worried me. He's the family lawyer, and within 10 minutes, he'd asked me 3 questions that felt less like small talk and more like a deposition. Where did we meet? How long ago? What was her order at the coffee place she goes to every morning? I fumbled the 3rd one. Milo smiled, excused himself, and said, "I'll just go verify something before dinner." Vivian's hand found mine under the table. Her fingers were shaking. Dinner started fine. Then Renata asked when we were moving in together, and I said soon, and Vivian said, "We haven't discussed it," at the exact same time. Delphine's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. Milo walked back into the room holding his phone and set it face up on the table. On the screen was my company profile picture, still tagged executive assistant under Vivian's department. "Interesting boyfriend," Milo said, who's technically her employee. The table went silent. Renata's smile finally cracked into something real, and it was worse than the fake one. "You brought your assistant," she said, "to fool an 80-year-old woman out of a company." Vivian stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. "Don't talk about my grandmother like she's an obstacle, and don't talk about Wes like he's a prop." Her voice didn't shake once. I'd never seen her defend anyone like that, least of all me. That's when Eleanor spoke for the first time all night. She'd been sitting at the head of the table the whole time, silent, watching everything over the rim of her wine glass. "The clause doesn't exist," she said. Nobody moved. "What?" Renata asked. "There is no clause. I made it up 4 years ago after I watched this family circle Vivian like sharks the second her father died, all of you angling for her shares through marriage, mergers, or guilt." She looked directly at Wes. "I didn't need to know if she had a boyfriend. I needed to know if she'd finally trust someone enough to ask for help, and if that person would show up for her with nothing to gain but a suit that doesn't fit him." She turned to Renata. "You failed that test the year you tried to introduce her to the Linkfist boy for the merger. She nodded at me, just passed it in one dinner. Eleanor signed the shares over to Vivian that same week, no conditions attached. Renata stopped speaking to her for 2 months. Milo sent me a fruit basket and an apology that I'm still not sure was sincere. Vivian and I talked about it once on the drive home, both of us still in our formal wear at midnight. "So, she said, staring at the road, "was any of that acting?" I said the suit part was real. She said that wasn't what she asked. 6 months later, I still work for her. I also still don't have a raise, but I do have a girlfriend who introduces me by my actual name now, and a grandmother-in-law who texts me recipes at 7 a.m. like it's completely normal.